Joyce's info on the lynching. There's something she wants to tell you. You just have to present her with your badge to hear it. Or perhaps if you did her a favour. Alright, I think... Let's go and see. I've presented her with my badge, haven't I? Let's go and try presenting her with my badge. I definitely have it. Unless I... It's not a tool, is it? It's just an item. Yeah, it's not a tool, so I don't have to have it equipped in my hand. Let's go and try and present her with the badge. I look like a copper now. I've had a shave and put a policeman's hat on. We've got the important stuff done. And I feel like I'm missing a clue. Maybe we can use her boat to sail to this island, because I haven't figured a way how to get there yet. I've got to say, some of the ideas, I'm just sort of clutching at straws a bit. An old poster hidden below new ones. Arno van Eyck, 49, the Elysium. Sounds like an obscure live performance in a dirty underground bunker. Hey, up here, pigs. Has she got something to say?
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Is that bed in the coal room yours? Ooh, not only have you found my address, you discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner. She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal. It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do. It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. She looks at the paint dripping down the wall. Like me, right now, I'm doing nothing at all. Don't you have a real home? Does anyone in a city like this? She replies wistfully, looking around. And really you're a miner? Yes, I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Cool, I have other questions. Oh, those two guys in the leather jackets that I can't pronounce for fear of being demonetised. Send their best wishes. I don't believe it. I've never known those boys to have manners. They seem to hold you in high esteem. They'll never be skulls, but she softens. But their hearts are in the right place. Skulls are cool. Can I be a skull? Fat chance, but you can still do your part to revitalise the neighbourhood. Okay then, how's that? She throws you a conspiratorial glance and presses a finger to her lips and squints up at the sky, as though straining to hear something in the distance. Have you noticed the quiet? Every so often, you might hear a gunshot pierce the air somewhere in Jamrock, but in Martinez, no gunshots, no sirens. The people are languishing in boredom and complacency. This place is a sepulchre. This place is a sepulchre. Hang on, let me just try this one again. Maybe I'd have better look if that was full of beer that I was drinking. This place is a sepulchre. We'll paint it red. We bring the raucous, you bring the sirens. Catch you later. She's not been terribly, terribly helpful. What was in there? It was just the apartments, wasn't it, the other end of that place? Right. Come up to Joyce. Present my badge.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Let's see. Tell me more about the strike. Tell me about the lynching. I've got some more questions about reality. Do we have to do this? Possible. What is reach for something fundamental? What is this acute encephalopathy? There's some too many words in here for me tonight. Nothing more or less than a de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol detectives. Yes, the lieutenant steps in to make a gesture encompassing you both. We are the Revachol Citizens Militia. He's being sarcastic. Are we? We are. You said de facto. Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. What do you mean? The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency Wayfare and Aliments Acts. 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital. All 3 are good to know, the lieutenant looks up from his notes, when we're out policing. So I'm basically a lackey of capital. There's nothing basic about your role, detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. She leans in. Yet on the other hand, I know these people. You deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they're not fans of you. Why? The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government, Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatisation scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative, she smiles. They'll never forgive you. That's somewhat of an exaggeration, the Lieutenant interjects. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. He coughs. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue. Yes, Lieutenant, permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. Thank you, madam. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help. She bows and smiles. And what are you? What I am not is a basic term of reality, she smiles. There may be a way to get her speaking about herself at some later juncture. I mean, come on, I've got 97%. Should we just do this for the fun of it? Not that it's fun, this bit, but what is this acute encephalopathy? It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out. What causes it? It's going to be alcohol abuse, isn't it? Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use. It's definitely the drinking. She nods slowly. Right, we've got this now. What is, reach for something fundamental, what is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air. What world is this? What world? The fading pearls of her eyes look to the sea. The only one, I suppose. The world of matter and its pale antipode. The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see? Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage, we all have. This world is enough, she concludes. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included. What is it? Elysium. Elysium, the world needs a term of endearment. It does. There are those who would call it hell. What is hell? A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petrofascists. I've got a clear picture. Let's proceed to another term. Okay. That's all for now. I think I've got that bit finished, I hope. Glad to have been assistance, the little that I know. Anything else? Yeah. I've been dealing with Everard again? She nods with well-contained curiosity. Oh, that is some new stuff. She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say. Did he help me find my gun? Yeah, let's say Mr. Everard helped me find my gun. Oh, her eyes become large and round. That's so helpful of him. Lieutenant looks at you and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling. He's able to contain the anger and surprise. Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting. That's exactly why I did it. Incredible, she shakes her head. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun? Check it out. Pull out your gun. That's beautiful, she inspects it. Keeping her calm, perfect posture, her eyes move across to the muzzle keenly. A Villiers 9mm, front-loaded, 2 or 3 barreled. 3. It's not easy to get this gun back, I'll tell you that. Let's say nothing. Villiers and LaSalle was one of the original 14 Indo tribes of Revachol. Did you know? Artillery and ballistics. Before the revolution, of course. They belong to some Gottwalders now. She phrases it as if it's a pity. She also phrases it as a transition out of you waving your gun around. What else? It helps you sometimes to hold inventory of the things you've achieved, you know. A smile clears the soul. That money you gave me, would that make things weird if I shared information, I mean? Weird? Oh no. One of the positive things to come from the revolution is the unhindered exchange of information. You see, even when it comes to trade secrets. Which isn't to suggest our talks constitute corporate espionage, even if they did. It would be fine. But they don't, since you logged the money as a donation, and this is clearly just gossip between friends. Let's have a look. I'd rather talk about something else. I need to get talking about The strike at the harbour? Well, let's talk about the lynching. Okay, so I want to try and find the bit where I needed to show her my badge. What was that about the bloodbath? Yes, I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war with possible consequences for all of Revachol West. Since you're sharing, madam, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. I've already heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike, but I need your testimony. I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. A momentary lapse of faith. They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker has to have a place on the board. Okay. A member of the board, she nods. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humour. Do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering. Who are they exactly? Crenell, an Orange East military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armour, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. So what happened? The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags, and lynched last Sunday night. And what then? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I've not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders. For now. For now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What is the nature of this so-called investigation? Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants. It'll be all of them. The decision is already made. I suspect it is. Oh, God. I have to say, this is not disco. It is very far from disco. A wave crashes against the side of her boat. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, she grabs hold of the mainsail. If you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This, in turn, will force the Union to respond. They would have to project strength and power. The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It'll be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? She leans back. It's not pretty. The Ceres giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours. So what they're saying is these 2 mercenaries are going to destroy this place. However, what if that's what Everard Clare wants? What if he's offering up these hardy boys as bait for these mercenaries to kill, knowing that it will spark a civil war? He wants a war. We know he wants a war. Okay. Lots of ideas floating around here. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armour is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1, 2, or in your case 3 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes. She's silent for a moment, then concludes, as I said, a bloodbath. See, Kim, this is a great bloodletting I've been telling you about. It appears you found it, yes, and I'm not happy for you. I can't see it happen. Too many things would have to go wrong first. Too many things have already gone wrong. She looks at you, eyes damp from the wind. Lieutenant doubly afraid to Dubois. Ooh, task complete. All we can do is keep that which has not from... All we can do is keep that which has not from following suit. That which has not yet happened or gone wrong. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse the situation. What can you tell me about Crenell? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good. As far as private military contractors go, I believe they were once called Downwell. Encyclopedia? Do I know anything about Downwell? Apparently not. They boast a long list of clients: St. Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Entract. A warning sign, however, the operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries, guarding facilities, escort missions and such, meaning they're used to operating in war zones. Yeah. All the good conflict corridors. Supramundi, Yisut, the Seminoles Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil. Okay, anything else you got on them? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources, she thinks. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though, she thinks. Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, madam? In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Crenell. Could you contact the company? Tell them to call them off? I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us. She's being truthful. She's pressing them as hard as they can. He said the deceased assaulted a woman. If you mean did I see him alive, yes, but I didn't know him. His name was Lely. His service name, a nom de guerre most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. Oh, right. I want the real name of this other fella. Tell me about the others first. One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator. Lieutenant cuts in. What would you say was his eye colour, the deceased's? She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head. I can't remember. There's a pang of regret to her voice. That's all right, madam. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age? He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions. This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body, and Classy also mentioned it, I believe. He says to you, then turns back to Joyce. What else? Nationality? Accent? He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent. Orangeese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanising. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. She nods. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once. Hang on, we've already asked this. You said the deceased assaulted a woman, didn't we? Or he didn't, she tilts her head. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it. Who did the passing on then? The remaining contractors, their tribunal, is what they believe. What did these teenagers by the canal say? That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. This does not come as news to me, but still, he exchanges a glance with you. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know? Last Sunday night at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. We kind of know this, and I'm surprised we didn't get the information on it before. But anyway, we're going through in case this leads us on to some other part of the story, or opens up some other avenues of questioning. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. And who was this woman? That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumour about a rumour. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. Where are the remaining two mercs now? They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. She puts her foot on the guard wire for balance. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Reavershaw Citizens Militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting. Vigilantes? You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Reavershaw. We still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved. Oh, we've got a good chance of this. Where are these mercenaries? One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. Oh, of course, yeah. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. And he didn't have clothes that fit him and all the rest. Yeah, one must be the scab leader. That may be so. She is poised and unperturbed. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest. That's usually the best way of finding the hornets. For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does this not bother you? Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union? Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace. How much time do we have until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. So one of them is that guy and another one is a woman. Is there a woman we've met somewhere that doesn't quite fit in with this place? I can't think of anyone. Unless it's that woman down by the fishing village who's actually lied to me about her story. I don't know. Not a seal. It won't be a seal, will it? Hang on. They don't report their progress, do you? Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. It's a matter of days, not weeks. Okay, that's enough for now. Can you tell me about these tattoos? Of course, excuse my hesitation before. She reaches over the guard wire and takes a photo. It holds it in her hand for about half a minute in silence. It's taken with a Trigat not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs. Stay quiet. Observe the woman's expression. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. What do you think? Sorry, she breaks her concentration. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points, the stars. She points to one on the photo paper. I can't, but that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent. Like blooms in a pattern? Close, she nods. Port cities. This is an Orangeese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the DeLorean century over 300 years ago. Sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels. And what is the use of this map? The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it. And what travels did the dead man make? Quite a few. Vredefort, the Orangeese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. She points to it on the photo. He started somewhere near here, I think. And what next? Then he made his way to the Pato Grande, what I think must be Stad's Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Prato, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean. First the Seminoles Islands, then this. She points to his heart. What is that? Revachol, she says. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulindi at the dawn of the Intersolary Age. The old world, the old world passing by and the new world already here. You said you can't read it. I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. In Martinez, looking into Crenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside there is a siren, distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter. Oh, nice. Encyclopedia kicks in. Vredefort? Vredefort has a military academy. The Seminoles Islands saw a recent conflict. In Revachol, he was executed. Maybe it's a record of his military career? This man is no brother of mine, but this is his service history. Okay, let's go with that. That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident, mercenary tattoos. For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas. Who could tell me more? His platoon members? The other contractors? Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade. Okay, mark it down. I need the information. Ask the scab leader about tattoos. We might start a fight with him. Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security, but if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you. We will be careful, madam. That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help. She hands you back the photo. Is there anything more? Talking about wild pines. Fair enough. Tell me something else. Tell me more about the strike at the harbour. I think that's done. Let's go with that then. Don't tell you you've met Everard. Right. Oh, we've talked about Everard so much. Right. Let's take a look at the quests. So I've got to get into the secret passages down there. No one knows where they lead. Find a way and see what's hidden there in the hostel cafeteria's forgotten corridors. I still don't know how we're getting into that. We'll maybe have a look at the hostel. Find the murder weapon. That's an ongoing thing. We've got rid of those jobs. We've got to find about Titus's sister. Maybe it was her sister that was actually... Maybe it was Titus's sister that was actually sexually assaulted. Only he doesn't want that to come out for the potential shame of it. And then he got Classy to take the... claim it was her. Or bullied her into saying that. I don't know. There's a lot to guess about this stuff. We still need to check the boardwalks for bullet traces. And now we actually have to ask the scab leader for stuff. So we've got information coming together. We have 2 skills to play with here. Don't want to spend one on a thought. That one sounds like an important one. But what do I forget? My volumetric shit compressor. Not that. The advanced race theory. That's a dangerous one, is that? Oh, no, that's that Fairweather T500. That's going to... When I have to fight those mercenaries, that's going to be so important. I don't know. My finger pistols are nice. That's a nice one. A Wompty-Dompty-Dom centre. I'm a pretentious wanker for believing that. This one... Oh, I don't like that one. So I lose 1 encyclopedia because nothing is familiar. I get plus 1 XP for every orb clicked. But I get 10 XP for every encyclopedia that kicks in. And all intellect learning caps are raised by 1. I'm going to forget that. I think. Oh, am I? Ooh, I don't know. And a lonesome long way home. Learning cap for perception raised. Or speed gives some stuff. I don't really want to take drugs. Some kind of superstar. It's hard. This is the one that I'm worried about. But the 2 volition is really nice. And if I put that thought in, then I still end up with -1 logic. But I don't know what the hell that's going to... I'll think about it. There's plenty of time to think about it, I'm sure. Okay, let's take a look at the map. So, I have to get over to the island. Unless that boat can take me. Is there any way around the back of here and out? I don't think there is. Can she take me on this boat? Let's just ask her while I'm here. See if she'll sail me over to that island, because we need to have a look over there.
Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
Oh, talking about the raincoat. I could use a coat like that. The rain is freezing. Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. She gives material another path. What I can do for you is answer some questions. So, where's this boat? Talk more about this boat that you're on. What would you like to know? She taps her foot. Not a lot of people have boats, are there? Of course there are. She looks around. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Wait, we're on an archipelago? Look around. Yes, we are. She raises a brow. We're on Le Calou. Oh, nice. That was worth it. Technically, the neighbouring Ozon and Fassa-la-Mer island groups are archipelagos, while Le Calou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass, the 4th largest island in the world. It is not an archipelago. Wait, I thought Le Calou was one big island. Okay, she gives you a crooked smile. If you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here. And sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike. Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here. I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Cooper's Kanema motor carriage either. Actually, the lieutenant becomes defensive, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. It's not a toy. Crossing long distances in the harbour. Oh, like jumping across to the island, maybe? Probably not. Neither is this. The woman pats the cabin hardtop. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol between the city and the islands. You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around this boat because she's rich. Why? Why not? Stop thinking. Take her down. I want to try and get her to sail me across the island. Why am I even thinking about this? It'll come off like I'm envious, and I'm not. You're not? Okay then, just keep on admiring the boat, unburdened by envy. Do you have a license for this boat? Officer, I assure you, I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator. The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator, so charming. Where's the damn license? Can I see your license? I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It's completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one but 2 interlindic regattas. Even finished one once. What happened the other time? The other time I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now. Still need to see a license, madam. Actually, you don't. Shut up, Kim. I'm pretty sure I do. I police. It's a little known fact among those who police that the Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license. The Wayfarer Act is one of the few pieces of legislation governing human interaction in the Revachol Special Administrative Region, along with the Emergency Trade and Aliments Act. Yawn. The one time this busted up cabbage is something useful for your job, you just want to stare at some boat. Fine, knock yourself out. So we can't pull over random civilians and demand their papers? That's weak. Unless it's their passport, no. Do you want to ask for the lady's passport? You need to save face if you want to respect. Demand that passport. Yes, I'm going to need to see your passport. Of course. She searches the pockets of her raincoat, producing a bundle of documents in a sealed plastic bag. Look at her passport. The woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull. In your hand, under the plastic, a light blue passport saying Republic of Vesper. The coat of arms is a lion and an ostrich, Sir John. I got some XP. The Republic of Vesper, formerly the Republic of Vesper Messina, was once a dual kingdom. In an amicable parting of ways produced 2 constitutional monarchies. Vesper, the richer of the 2, is an occidental nation known for its proximity to the Pale and its exotic financial derivatives. Anything else? It's a stable country, and yet there's always been something ominous about its perfect stability, its place at the edge of the Mundi Isola, overlooking the Ubi Sunt Isles, fracturing into the great unrest of the Pale. Look at the photo page. The woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you, face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads Rejoice Leighton Messier. Everything appears in order. I'm not interested in all that shit, to be honest. Okay, I wanted to see if she'll take us in the boat. She won't. She won't. Okay, I'm going to call it quits for there. I will get more episodes of this recorded over the next day or 2 and make sure they're uploaded. So don't worry if there is a pause for a couple of days. It's just that I've been a bit busy. I'm not abandoning the playthrough at all. And I will continue this because I have to get to the bottom of this mystery. And it's a good game. So we need to see the end.